4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
The Giants, I tell you what, man, they just don't get no love. Right now, to be fair, the Giant, there's an article here that ranked the top 25 teams from this century, Super Bowl champions, and no surprise here, the Giants had top 25 teams ranked top 25 Super Bowl winning teams, right? Meaning 1 is the best, 25 is the worst. The Giants 2 Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl 42 and 43. They were ranked 24th and 25th. They were the worst 2 winning Super Bowl teams in Super Bowl history in the 21st century. So, but the Giants were ranked the 21st century. They're the worst 2 Super Bowl winning teams. Now, to be fair, right, you got, I mean, there's no comparison, comparing the 2007 Giants to the Eagles from last season. The Eagles last season were like 14-3. They won, great team. I mean, so they were high on the list, right? So there's other teams, obviously, like the 2000 Ravens were up there, But I mean, to be fair, right, the Giants, I mean, in what was it in 2007, they lost the first 2 games. They got annihilated. Then they won 6 games in a row. Then they lost 4 games in a row. I mean, they were like back and, they were not a phenomenal team, right? During the regular season. In the playoffs, yeah. I mean, they played 8 playoff games, I believe it was, and they wound up, 7 of the 8 were on the road, right? They won a championship game in Green Bay. They won a championship game in San Fran. They beat Tom Brady 2 times. They beat the undefeated Patriots 18-0 Patriots, and make them 18. But in the playoffs, the Giants turned it on and were special. But during the regular season, I mean, it was the same thing with the 2011. They weren't nothing super duper special. They just, them and Eli, turned it on right at the right time. But, but the Giants were not ranked very high. Where did the Giants? Giants 2 Super Bowl teams ranked as the worst of the 21st century. Where did the Giants Super Bowl 42 and 46 teams rank among the 25 teams that have won the big game since 2000? Because there's been 25 teams since 2000, right? They ranked 24th and 25th. That's where. In a recent listing from Bleacher Report, the Giants' 2 upset victories over Tom Brady and Belichick's New England Patriots don't measure up to the rest of this century's other NFL championships. Well, but because what they're doing is they're ranking, the championships, but they're also ranking the team during the regular season too. Like I said, the Giants were not super phenomenal during this season. They were a better team in 2008 than they ever were in 2011, 2007 during the regular season. Of course, then Plexico shoots himself in the leg, and basically, all heck broke loose after that, right? But 2008, the Giants were a fantastic team. So the 2011 Giants were ranked as the 25th. They were ranked as the worst Super Bowl winning team this century. The pros were they were behind a legendary pass rush. They dethroned the Patriots for the second time in a 4-year span. But the cons, they were the only team on this list with just 9 regular season wins. Right? Every other team that won the Super Bowl in this century had at least 10 wins during the regular season. Giants barely won the division. It came down to the final game of the season. They lost to the Cowboys. I think they got knocked out. The Cowboys would have won the division, but the Giants wound up winning 28-24. And then it had a negative scoring margin, too. They were -6 during the regular season. So they were nothing special at all during the regular season. Despite that pass rush, only the 2018 Patriots gave up more yards per play, 5.62 yards per play. And JPP was the only first-team All-Pro. So I said they were not super spectacular that season. Then the 24th ranked team to win a Super Bowl this century was the 2007 Giants. The pros, that they slayed the 18-0 Patriots, is one of the biggest upsets in NFL history. I have to agree with that. But the cons, they were the only one win better than the 2011. They were 10-6. And their plus 22 regular season scoring margin ranks second last among the 25 teams. The plus 22 regular scoring margin, plus 22. I mean, it's horrible. Horrible. They were 10-6, and they were at plus 22. So they were also a horrendous 1-5 against teams with winning records. And they outscored their 4 playoff opponents by just 20 total points. They had just one Pro Bowler, O.C. Umenor, and no first-team All-Pros. They just, it's, so what that would be telling me is they outscored their 4 playoff opponents by just 20 points. So that would be telling me that the 72 Dolphins was just straight up trash. Why? Because they had a block a punt against the Cleveland Browns in their one playoff game, and they won by 6 points. Then they won by 4 points to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they won by just 7 points to the Washington Redskins. So what is that? 6, 4. So they won by 17 points in their 3 playoff wins. So that means that means the 72 Dolphins are just straight up trash. Yeah, I don't think so. But see, they say they outscored their 4 playoff opponents by 20 total points, but they don't fail to mention that all 4 of those games were on the road. Right, we won in Tampa Bay, we won in Dallas, we won in Green Bay, Lambeau Field, right? And we beat the Patriots. I mean, I guess neither team was home there, but we beat the 18-0 Patriots. It's no love for that. It's hard to argue with some of the cons here. The Giants were not dominant in the regular season either year. No, they weren't. The Super Bowl behind 2 incredible postseason runs. But they played just one of those 8 postseason games at home, which was omitted from these rankings. Among the victories were wins in Dallas. Dallas was a good team in 2007. Green Bay, Packers were a good team. And let's not forget, and in San Francisco, they won 2 times in Green. And the game they won in Green Bay was 15-1. I think they were. 15-1, 14-2 or something like that. And they totally killed the Packers. And if it wasn't for a bogus bull call, roughing the passer on an absolute bull call on roughing the passer on Aaron Rodgers that wound up giving him another touchdown, the Giants would have totally killed them this game. Killed the Packers in the 2011 playoffs. But that's it. So we got here, all right? So we got the rankings. So the number 1 team, and it pops up here, was where we at? It was the Patriots. I think it was here. The 2004 Patriots. They're one of just 3 14-2 teams on this list, alongside with 2 other Patriot squads, and ranked 3rd in scoring margin of plus 177. They went 7-1 against winning teams, pulled off 6 fourth-quarter comebacks, and dusted the Colts and Steelers en route to their 3rd championship in 4 years. So it's hard to argue with that. The 2013 Seattle Seahawks, tough. I mean, it was at 40-8. They beat Peyton Manning and the Browns 40-8. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. Then the 2016 Patriots, number 5 was the 2009 Saints. Hard to argue with that. Number 7 was the 2002 Buccaneers. They were a phenomenal team. Well, I mean, the defense was unbelievable. The 2000 Ravens were number 8. So, I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, once again, I mean, it's a lot of times when it comes to the Giants, right? Giants get no love, period. But it's hard to argue. What they're doing is with these Super Bowl winning teams, as I said, is that they're taking the regular season and the postseason, combining it all together. Now if they did just postseason, they took the Super Bowl winning teams postseason, right? Giants would be 24, or if they were, I wouldn't even bother reading it. Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, but they're taking the regular season. As I said, the Giants were not super spectacular in 2007 or 2000. Said they were far better in 2008 than they ever were in 2007 or 2000. I said 2011. Let's see. I think they had I think it was 28-14. That's a 2011 New York Giants. They had to win the final game of the season against the Cowboys. They were 9-7. So they were 8-7 going into the final game of the season against the Cowboys. Oh, 31-14. I'm sorry. It was January 1st. It was the final game of the season, Sunday night. So 8:30 at night, January 1st, New Year's Day, against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I think, were 8-7 as well, too. Whoever won, I mean, that just goes to show you how crappy the division was. The Cowboys and the Giants were tied at first. Both were 8-7. So after the Cowboys lost, I think the Cowboys were I guess they were 8-8. Yeah, they were 8-8. Each division. So they were in thirds. Who else? Standings. The Eagles were 8-8 too. The Giants were 9-7. The Eagles were 8-8. The Cowboys were 8-8. And then the Redskins, because they were Redskins back then, were 5-11. The division was horrible. But the Giants went on the road. They beat the Packers, who were 15-1. They beat the 49ers, who were 13-3, right, on the road. And of course, then they beat the Patriots, who were 13-3 as well. So we beat two 13-3 teams and a 15-1 team. But that was during the playoffs. During the regular season, we gave up 400 points. We scored 394. We gave up 400 points. We were -6 in the point turnover. I mean, that's horrible. That's horrible. And if we would have lost that game, nobody, the Eagles didn't make the playoffs. The Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. Whoever won that game won the division and went to the playoffs. Whoever lost, bye-bye. So it just happened. The game was at home. Giants played the game at home. The Giants wound up winning. The Giants were ahead. Let's see here. I'm going to pop down. Okay, the Giants went way ahead, and then the Cowboys started coming back. It was like, what was it here? We got here. The Giants were up 21-0. Cowboys scored to make it 21-7. Cowboys scored again to make it 21-14. And then finally, Lawrence Tynes kicked the field goal to put us up by 2 scores, 24-14. And then about 2 minutes later, Hakeem Nicks got a 4-yard touchdown pass from Eli Manning to seal the deal. So the Giants were only 9-7 that year. Not very impressive. I said, and the same thing with the 2017. We lost our first 2 games. Right, we had that goal line stand against the Redskins, because they were Redskins back then. We wound up winning like 6 in a row. I think we were 6-2. We're like, man, here we go, baby. And then we lost the next 4, and we're 6-6. It's like, what the, you know what I mean? So we had to win some tough games there at the end, right? But so we were not super spectacular in either year. So it's really, really hard to argue with either one of those. You know what I mean, because if you take the regular season and the postseason, combine them together, I mean, it's hard to argue that the Giants, the 24th and 25th best teams to win a Super Bowl this century.